Here's a quick little example of a difference between C++ and other languages on handling string inputs, um, and also numbers and whatnot. So it's really tempting to use cin as the way of being able to get inputs. And so I have two versions of this. One uses cin and the other one uses the getline function. And I want to show you the difference between here. And so I've already written this code so we could go through this slightly quicker, but I'm going to talk through this code. So let's say I have a series of variables I want to get. First name, last name, age, height, and weight. So two strings, three integers. So I can use the code like this. First name, cin, first name. Last name, cin, oops, make a capital L. Last name, cin, last name. Real-time edits. Age, cin, age. Height, cin, height. Weight, cin, weight. And then I print out what I get. So as long as I'm a good user, this code works pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and run my code here. And first name is Tony. Last name is Lowe. Age, I'm 46 now. Height, 72. And I'm rocking around 195. And so there, Tony Lowe's age, weight, and height. It all prints out nice and clean there. Um, Let me run that again and show you an interesting little quirk that cin has. So cin does not grab and clean up after itself. So if I put in first name Tony Lowe, 46, 72, 72, 195. Notice what happened. So it worked. I got the output I expected, but it skipped past age, height, weight input. It automatically assumed all those were coming in, and there it is, and it's great. cin is really great for reading files, or that actually it's not cin's fault exactly. Cin is the place it's coming from, but this operator here is really great for reading files where I know that file has the first name and a space and the last name and a space and the age and a space and a weight, height and a space and a weight and a space. That really works well. But it starts, I mean, and in this case, if I'm a super user, I can type in things well, but it starts to break down to some degree if I make a mistake. So in my application, if I have my first name is Tony, and my last name's Lowe, and my age is oops, well, look what just happened. I say oops. The first one ends up being 0. My age is 0. My height is now negative, really big number. My weight is also negative, really big number. It didn't fail. It put in some values unexpected there, and then it killed it. And had I been doing validation inside of here and had some loop, I could have ended up with some really screwy behavior where it's looping around, and it either gets in an eternal loop, or I can never really enter data once I failed because it never clears that buffer. So the cin basically just looks for the next thing it's expecting. If it's looking for a string, it's going to go up to the next space character for a string. If it's looking for an integer, it's going to also look for the space character, but it might interpret the other characters as some other meaning inside of there. So the better approach for a more robust user interface is to use getline. Just every time I'm expecting something from the user, I take the whole line and then I parse that line myself. So if I show you this behavior instead, the getline behavior, same things, first name, last name, age, height, weight, same typos because I copied it over. But now instead of saying cin, I'm doing a getline for the first name. The whole line is first name, getline for this last name. And then I do a getline for the age, and I'm putting it into this temp variable right here. Temporary variable. And then I use stoi, string to integer. So the st isn't string, it's s to I, string to integer. And it converts that string into an integer. And let me show the behavior. This isn't perfect, but it's better. So again, I do that for the age, get the temporary variable, string to integer, height, temporary variable, string to integer, weight. temporary variable, string to integer, and then I print it out. So now I'm going to run that one instead. So first name Tony, I'll just show you multiple times. Last name Low, age 46, 72, 195. Everything worked fine, as I expected as a good user to everything to work. Now let me show you that second test case that we ran. So Tony Low, 46, 72, 195. Well, now it just asked me for last name. Low, 46, 72, 195. Okay, well here, my first name is Tony Low, all this stuff. Last name Low, age 46. So it sort of kind of worked. It didn't have that pass through, that fall through function. If you want that, then this is a bad thing. But if you don't want that, then it's a good thing. The other good thing about this is because I've changed it this way. If I say Tony Low, oops, here, it ends up with an exception. I'm just going to hit continue, continue. So that exception changes it so we don't see what gets put inside of here, but I can say, and I'll continue this, exception, exception. And then I can say inside of here, 195. So here, it throws an error. It ends up resolving to be 0, which is better than some big negative number perhaps. But the more important thing is instead of just assuming it was a number and running with it, it gives me some indication that something went wrong. Excuse me. You could catch that exception. Look for it and catch that exception appropriately and do something with that, which is what you should do in a good, robust program to begin with. So the getline is going to be a much better option for user interface in any language. It's not a C++ thing. As I said, the Java scanner operates the same way. And I tell students when I'm working on Java, don't use a scanner. Or if you do use a scanner, just use readline every single time for user interface. So it's really nice if I have a file and I have a file that I pretty much trust. And if that file breaks, I can just throw away the file and not read the file. But if I need to have some sort of robust error handling and have a robust recovery of that, then I should be using an approach like this.